Welcome makers, shortwave listeners, ham radio operators, and students. In this episode, I'm going to just dive right into EZNEC, the antenna modeling tool that I've been using for, 30 plus years now. Back in the days of DOS. I'm not going to describe how to use it. I'm going to leave that up to you to figure out as I go through all my designs and variations in those designs. And I have so many, it's hard to choose which one to start with. And I came across one that was an old design that was a little obscure in its naming convention. So I had to open up to see what it was, and it's a very simple design. It's a very simple vertical over a field of 32 radials. This is following the classic field layout of Brown, Lewis, and Epstein. Although it's the length and the count is close, but not identical, because Brown, Lewis, Epstein were up to 128 radials, 1/4 wavelength. This is just a solid platform to investigate antennas upon. Now, why would I find this so unusual? Something that puzzled me at first glance? Well, because it's not a simple. Very few of my antenna analysis are from simple designs, and this would be an example of a broken vertical. And what could be said about a broken vertical? Well, I put a kink in it, and this is an introduction to fractal antennas as well, and how they behave. But this is going to be a quick introduction to just one of many variations on this theme. So let's switch over to, let's take a look at the antenna before we look at EZNEC and its IDE. So here, I guess it's very evident what's going on here is this vertical is bent, or right at this point right here. And you can see that it's over a field of radials. I'll tip that a little. See how the orientation stands with respect to its counterpoise, is another expression for this arrangement of radials. The source, the driver, where you connect your transmitter to, is at this point, traditional starting point. We have a short vertical section. Let's see. Its length is 0.0275 wavelengths. So what is that? Well, it's a small distance. It's a thick inch, 1 inch thick. It comes up to this section, which is the same length, and that bends into this section, which is considerably longer. About, let's see, that looks like an 1/8 wavelength. Or no, it's coming on a 1/4 wavelength in total. Now, in many of my antenna analysis designs, I use one of two starting points. Either, that is when I'm comparing one antenna to the next at the same frequency, say. They'll either be the same height or they will use the same amount of wire. And as you can see, this last antenna having its break in the side, at this point here, I'm trying to maintain a constant wire length of 1/4 wave, but I'm not at the highest it could be for that 1/4 wave, simply because of this bend. Now, the question that I ask is, well, what's the point of this? And well, that can only be answered in relation to another design that's similar to it. But if we look at the swir, we'll see that that's a fairly broad response for a simple vertical. Simple verticals are generally show a sharper dip. And here is the EZNEC's IDE, the Integrated Development Environment, for analyzing what I call a 32, let's see, what have I titled that? I have to get over there myself. 32 quarter wave radials, such as they are. So this is a quarter wave over 32 quarter waves at a frequency of, well, the frequency set is variable. It doesn't matter at this point because I have that swir chart that I've revealed to you earlier. But that's how that looks. Now, as I said, this only makes sense if you compare it to a standard quarter wave. In other words, something without a kink. But I'm not that. I have that in my file, certainly. But I'm more interested in, let's move the kink. Let's see how well this translates to my... Okay, first I have to... get in a different antenna. So what I'm going to do, let's see. Whoop. I'm going to choose an intermediate. I call it compound step because it's a step change. Open that. And now let's see how well the system resolves the antenna. Yeah, there we go. Here you'll notice that, well, that step change is up higher now. It's still the same amount of wire. Nothing's changed in that regard. I just bent it at a different place. And let's see what we can observe in the swir. Well, let's see if my chart will follow. No, I have to generate the swir chart first. Okay. Forgive me for running this in the background with a black screen. It's not very nice to you. So, whoop, and I hope that came through. We can see that. Well, I'm not sure that I'm under the same frequency span as before, so I'm going to do 14 to 16 this time. So 14 to 16, run that. And we're coming up on the display. There we go. And here we have the swir for this particular design. I need to compare these, flash one image over the other. I'll leave that to you to observe in, just manipulate the video to select the previous display, and we'll see how that goes. But this is just a quick walkthrough where I show you how I take one idea, a step shift in the offset of the antenna. And I move that through the course of the entire antenna. And I observe how much that changes its characteristics and see if there's any advantage that can be gained from this, either in transmission or the launch properties or the match properties. We'll investigate that further in future episodes. This is just a simple introduction of the EZNEC tool, its various output screens, and I hope that even if you don't know EZNEC or are afraid of it, for one, my uses of it will possibly show you that there's a world of opportunity of investigating not only antennas, but structures around them, like your car, your truck, your home. How does that impact your antenna? Well, we'll discover those and many more topics in the future episodes, so I hope to see you there. Thanks all.